Hello, thank you so much for joining. For today's practice, we will be using a strap of some sort. If you don't have a yoga strap, you can always use a belt of any sort, or maybe if you have a jump rope or a dog leash laying around, anything like that could work. But something super long and skinny, not even just a towel, because we want it to be even longer than that. All right, so we're going to take that, we're going to sit it by us somewhere close, but not necessarily right next to us. And we're going to come into a comfortable seated position. Seated in the chair, you can come into the chair with your spine long, your feet flat on the floor. If you're coming onto the floor, you can always come into a constructive rest here if you'd like, coming onto the back. The feet planted and the knees pointing towards the ceiling or bed together. Or if you'd like to stay in a seated position, you could do that as well. No matter where you're at for our opening time together, make sure your feet are either flat on the floor, or if you're in crisscross applesauce, maybe they're making contact with the floor in another way. Allow your back to be lengthened. Maybe your eyes close. Maybe you simply soften your gaze, letting it blur over as you come into a space of intention tonight. We'll start to notice our breathing. Breathing either in and out through the nose or mouth as it feels appropriate in our lungs and nose today. We'll allow our breathing to find a slow but deliberately equal rhythm to it. Maybe you take a few rounds and you count the breath in and then match it on the count out. Or maybe finding a more natural and authentic without counting. Letting it flow in and out equally, intentionally slow. And as we breathe here, we'll take this moment, start to scan our bodies, noticing any sensations, whether good, negative, or neutral, throughout our bodies, in our muscles and in our joints, and allowing us to start to come into a place of awareness with our internal landscape. Continue to breathe slowly and intentionally, allowing each exhale to be an invitation to soften into this moment. And today we're going to ask ourselves, when life is hard, when it throws you a curveball, sends your anxiety rolling high, stress, making your blood boil, how do you treat yourself? Do you treat yourself with kindness in those moments? How do you treat those in your life? Whether near or far away, close or stranger. We'll explore this a little more today. I believe that when life gets tough, we need to be kindest to ourselves. Because when we resist life's toughness, we suffer. But when we meet life's toughness with love, transformation can occur. Rather than avoiding our difficulties, pushing them down, ignoring them. Instead, let us care for them, care for ourselves. With self-compassion and kindness, they are like a healing balm that we can apply to our wounds. Just as a parent holds a crying child, we can hold our difficulties. In these moments, parents don't judge. They just love. Kindness and love towards ourselves is the greatest gift we can give ourselves in these moments. Times of suffering are when we need our own love the most. Allow yourself to love yourself. Self-compassion is a warrior's practice because it takes great strength to turn towards our difficulties instead of away. And you, my friends, are warriors. So as you continue this steady, calm, intentional, equal breath, take a moment to notice what difficulties need your attention right now. And soften into whatever is currently weighing on your heart and mind. Maybe even repeat, I am here. I love you. Towards your difficulties and towards yourself. Beautiful job today. I'll take one last deep breath here. And as we do, we'll take a moment to offer ourselves some gratitude. That we took time out of our busy day to meet ourselves here with kindness, no matter what's happening out there. I am here. And I love you. As you're ready, start to wiggle fingers and toes, flutter the eyes open. If you're on the mat in a constructive rest, go ahead and come on up to a seated position, joining us on our hips. And maybe come into a crisscross applesauce or send those legs out long. We're going, go ahead and grab that strap, that long skinny item that we talked about. We're going to feed it behind our back, about halfway up our back. We're going to take one side, cross it across the rib cage towards the other side of the room, and then take the other side and crisscross it towards the other side. We'll then take those straps in our hands and bring the elbows in close to the bodies. You can keep the straps just simply taut, or it might feel a little more secure or comfortable for you to take a few wraps around the hands, whatever feels better for your body. So this is a breath awareness exercise. And as we, again, bring our elbows in towards our side, we're going to simply start to breathe that same equal breath, slow and intentional. Well, you're welcome to close your eyes if that's how you connect with your breath the best. Or you can gently leave the eyes focused on something in front of your face. But start to feel the subtle shifts with those deep intentional breaths. Maybe you notice the strap tugging on your hand as you inhale, or the strap pulling a little tighter around the rib cage as you exhale. We don't want to be using the hands to pull necessarily. It's more like a little resistance to simply feel the movement of the breath in a more visceral body feel kind of way. You're doing a beautiful job. Take just a couple more breaths like that, allowing yourself to be in your silence, connecting with your breath. It's just like kindness, your breath is another way to help us through those tough times. Great job. Alrighty, with our next exhale, let's go ahead and release that. Letting that strap go ahead and come off to the side. We'll bring our hands in front of our heart center and then start to interlace the fingers, pressing the palms away from you as you start to round through the spine, bringing your head to drop in between your arms, feeling a nice curvature throughout the spine. And then with your next inhale, start to lift the arms up overhead, maybe even taking them behind the head for a little back bend. Great job. With our exhale, we'll drop the hands behind the head, fingers still interlaced and elbows out wide. Exhale, drop your elbows in towards your torso, rounding chin to chest, taking a nice stretch through the back of the neck. Try to keep the spine straight here though, and let the curvature be in the neck only. Inhale, go ahead and look back up. And then press the palms back up towards the ceiling. Exhale, draw your hands down towards shoulder height. And then bring it back into your prayer. Great job. Allow your hands to drop onto your legs. And then let's take a couple of torso circles going in one direction a few times. And then we'll quickly switch and go in the other direction a couple of times, starting to warm up the spine. Come through center, lengthen the spine, and then take a few cat-cows, pulling the heart forward and then rounding it back. Great job. Alrighty, go ahead and come back up to your straight spine. From here, we're gonna find a robin's breath. A robin's breath, we're gonna bring our hands together at heart center. A robin's breath is a moving breath where we make each movement match our breath. So we're gonna take some time. We'll go through it once slowly. I'll go through it once a little faster, and then you'll start to take over the rhythm on your own. Bringing hands to heart center, we inhale and lengthen the spine. Sit up really tall as you can. As you exhale, we keep those hands in our prayer position, but just like that pose we just took, we begin to extend our arms out in front of us and curl our chin down towards our chest. With the next inhale, we're going to open the arms up overhead and then like bird wings, circle them back behind us by our hips, palms face out. Exhale to bring hands to heart center. Inhale to lengthen spine. Start to find your rhythm. Exhale to push hands out. Inhale, bird wings. Exhale, prayer. Take it at your own pace. Inhale to lengthen. Extend. Circle. Prayer. Lengthen. Take it on your own. Last time through. We'll end at heart center and prayer pose. Great job. We're gonna warm up the lower body with a little bit of different options. So if we're in the chair, what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring our right thigh, so it's supported by the chair. We're gonna take our left foot, start to bring it back into a lunge position, tucking the toes and bending the knee deeply. I like to hold on to the chair when I'm taking this variation because it gives me just a little bit more support. We're taking this from a floor position, come up into a tabletop, and then go ahead and bring your left foot forward and your right foot back. So we're all here. Maybe I might have just switched that actually. So right leg forward, left foot back. Sorry about that. On the mat, maybe bring some props like blocks under your hands or anything else. You can even bring a piece of furniture nearby. And we're gonna come into our low grounded lunge. Of course, you're always welcome to curl up your mat or even put a pillow or blanket under that knee. This is gonna be a little bit of a moving lunge here, no matter where we're at. So I'll start with depending on the different variations and go through the different options. So if you're on the mat, first variation is to tuck your toes in the back foot, and then we're gonna send our hips down as close to the mat as we can, and then send them back into our half splits, rolling through at your own pace. Noticing the movement of the body. If you'd like to go into a little bit of a different variation, staying still through the front body, hands planted, and then with that back toe tucked, we can lift and lower the knee. Great. All right, now if you're in the chair, you're gonna be similar to that other variation. You're gonna be bending the knee and lengthening it, pushing through the heel. Now you might not straighten the leg all the way, and that's okay. We're just working to squeeze the glute and extend the leg, and then bend the knee towards the floor. All right, our last breath of movement. We're gonna pause in whatever rest feels like a lunging rest for us in this moment. And then let's take a twist towards that front knee. You're seated in the chair. You can bring both hands to the chair back. You're on the mat. Maybe you turn towards that bent knee. You could even extend the arms out long in either variation or take it into a prayer twist. That's part of your practice, so lots of options with that twist. Great job. Exhale to release. And let's take it over to the other side. Switching. This time, right leg back, left leg forward, or left leg supported by the chair. And with your breath, start to find your pulse. Short staccato burst of movement at your own pace. Going as deep or as shallow in any of the variations you're choosing. Noticing the movement in the glutes, the extension through the back of the leg maybe. You're doing great. Last breath here. Find your resting variation of low lunge or supported lunge in the chair. And then with our next inhale, we're gonna twist towards that front knee, taking any twist variation that feels good in your body in this moment. Great job. Exhale to release. And then let's come back to a seat on our hips. And we'll find a butterfly pose, bringing the soles of the feet together and then drawing the heels in towards the body. Maybe bringing some props under the knees for just a little added support. Or if you're seated in the chair, maybe the prop is under your feet, letting them come up a little closer to your hips. Wherever you're at, keep your spine straight for just a moment. Allow your knees to grow heavier, opening up through the inner hips. And then if you'd like to take a hinge forward, maybe now would be a great time to let those inner hips open a little deeper. Inhale to come back up to a straight spine. From here, we're going to take our left hand towards our right knee. You take it anywhere along the foot, the ankle, the shin, or the knee. We're going to start to twist our left shoulder down towards our right knee. And then you can take that right hand either to the chair or to the floor behind you, or you could lift it up overhead into your twist. Inhale to straighten the spine, come through center. And let's take our twist in the opposite direction. Right hand comes towards left. And we find our twist. Maybe a hand lift, maybe not. As we drop our right shoulder towards our left knee, a little or a lot. Great job. Inhale to come back through center. Drop the right hand by the right hip. Inhale, take it into a side bend. Lifting left hand up and overhead if that feels good on your body. Inhale to bring it through center. Left hand down, right hand up and over. Exhale to release. From here, we're going to come into a seated mountain, bringing a bend back into the knees. If we're on the chair and on the floor, we'll send the legs long into a seated staff. We're going to press into our legs, start to lift our heart, lift our gaze, roll our shoulders back and coming into a seated cobra pose. Exhale to lengthen the spine. Great job. From here, we'll come into a hero's pose. So if you're on the mat, tuck the knees, feet back. You're welcome to grab a prop of your choice, bringing it behind your hips or under your knees. You can tuck or untuck your toes. And if you're seated in the chair, you're going to scoot over to the right side. We'll do this half and half. So halfway through, we'll switch sides. We'll scoot over to the right side, letting that right knee fall off and down towards the ground. I like to open my left knee a little more to the left as a good counterbalance. And then from our heroes, let's take our right hand, the same one as the half heroes if we're taking it in the chair. And we're going to take our hand across our body, no matter where we're at, coming into this nice, beautiful opening through the right shoulder. Notice how that feels. Great job. With our exhale, we're going to drop our left hand from holding our right hand to the floor or to our chair or prop. And then we're going to circle the right hand back and take it in a couple of circles here, just exploring the shoulder movement. And then reverse it. Great job. Our next inhale takes us into a side bend towards the left. Great job. Bring it through center, release, torso, straight spine. Let's take that second side. If you're taking your chair heroes, you're coming over to the left side this time. Dropping your left knee, opening the right. You can tuck or untuck those toes, well, no matter whether you're on the floor or seated in the chair. And then as we're ready, we're gonna take that left arm and cross our right. Find our hook, whether we're using our hand, holding it at the elbow, the shoulder, the wrist. Any of these are great options. I like the option also of bending the elbow, letting the hand rest on the shoulder and still pushing against that elbow. So whatever works for your body. Great job. Drop your right hand towards the chair or the prop floor or another prop. Begin to circle that left arm back and around. And reverse. Ending in a side bend towards the right. Great job. Exhale to release. From here, we'll find our way up to standing. There's a bunch of props in your way. Maybe move them out of the way. We don't want to trip on anything, but keep them close by. Come to our mountain pose. Stand very tall, lengthening through our spine. With our inhale, we'll let the arms float up and overhead, tall mountain. Feel that length and extension. And then let's open our arms into a big, wide, almost like you're holding a big ball over your head, or you have a Y or something. All right, we have this big shape over our head. As we exhale, lean to the right, a little or a lot. Inhale through center. Take it to the left. Inhale through center. Exhale, bird wings into your forward fold. Go ahead and let yourself sink in here. Maybe find a little rock from side to side. A little sway of the hips, a little lift of the heels, a little shake of the head, a slide of the jaw, a roll of the tongue. Eventually settle into some stillness. Press into the hands to halfway lift, figure 7, engaging our core. Exhale, hinge and forward fold. Bend the knees deeply, sink the hips, take a slow roll, coming all the way up to standing. Once the shoulders arrive, bird wing reversed up to your big beach ball. Exhale, bring it into a prayer and release. Great job. Feel free to shake or move anything that you'd like. And we're going to come into a little bit of a flow here with our movement. You'd like to have a little bit more support. Maybe have a prop close by, a wall or a chair. And we're going to revisit that lunge we were playing with a little bit earlier. So we're going to step the right foot back. We're going to take it back as far as we want. So if we want a shallow lunge, make it shallower. If you want to take it deeper, take it deeper. It's up to you here. But just like before, we're going to find a little bent knee pulse. And you can make this as deep as you want. If you want to touch that back knee down and come back up, you can do that. But keep knees bent and pulsing. Again, you could be holding onto a prop. Another option is to come from a bent knee to a straight knee. Variation. Instead of going from a high to a low pulse. Great job. One more. Pause at your resting lunge position, whatever that feels like for you. And then we're going to revisit the twist. So take your hands to the right side of your prop, Maybe to your right knee. Maybe you send the arms out wide to a T. Great job. Bring it back. We're gonna go ahead and circle the back heel down towards the mat as we open our hips to the side, straightening both legs. Now that should put you in a perfect triangle position. Inhale, open those arms out wide. Start to pull the front fingertips forward. They can land on a prop, your leg, or can hover. But stack your wrists and shoulders in a straight line, no matter where you're at. And allow that back hip to peel towards the wall behind you. Beautiful triangle pose. Exhale, drop that top hand towards your bottom hand, wherever that happens to be. Take that back heel, start to lift it as you parallel your hips to the floor. Now step your front foot back just a little bit. And if you don't have a prop nearby, but you like to have them for these kind of things, maybe bring some blocks in front of you. And we're gonna find a warrior 3 here. So we let our hands rest on a prop and we start to lift those back toes a little or a lot, all the way up to hip height, keeping a bend in your standing leg. Great job. And we're going to find a little bit of a balance challenge here. You're always welcome to step that back foot down whenever you need for a little more balance, or start to roll up through the spine, coming into a half standing staff, keeping the knee bent in front of you. Toes can be planted or lifted all the way up to hip height. Great job. Now let's open that knee out to the side. We'll find a tree pose of our liking. Foot can be on the floor or anywhere along the other leg. Great job. Maybe bringing your hands to a prayer here at heart center. Maybe having one resting on your heart and one holding a prop for just a little bit more support. You're doing great. Maybe take a few of those equal breaths, slow and intentional. Beautiful flow. Exhale and slowly release. And then we'll take it on the other side. As you're ready, mountain pose. Step left foot back, high lunge. Start to find your pulse, whichever variation of the pulse you want. Little movement, feel it in the hips, the glutes, the thighs, maybe the shins even. You're doing great. It's tough. Are you being kind to yourself? Are you giving yourself grace? All right, last breath here. Find your variation of a lunge that feels like rest. And then twist towards your front leg. Arms could be wide, on a prop, in prayer. It's your twist, so make it your own. Great job. Inhale to bring it back through center. And this is when we open to our triangle pose, taking that back heel towards the mat, toes towards the side, hips towards the side. Inhale, pull those fingertips up. Start to pull the front fingertips forward. Drop them down. Find your triangle. Pull that back hip towards the wall behind you. Great job. That top hand circles down to meet the bottom, maybe on a prop. And then step your front leg, shuffle it back. Just slightly under your weight of your body. Start to circle the back heel up. And then when you're ready, lifting toes a little or a lot. Warrior 3. Keep your gaze on a spot that's not moving. And then when you're ready, start to make your way up. Standing half staff. You're doing great. Exhale, open it up, tree pose. Exhale to release. Let's go ahead and take our legs wide, wider than hip distance, toes out, heels in, stretch the arms out wide. And then move the toes in line with the heels. And with an exhale, take a hinge into a forward fold. Allowing yourself to really release, keeping a bend in your knees. Noticing how that feels through the spine. All right, so next we're gonna walk our hands on the floor on a prop over towards the right leg. You can keep it on the prop, or you can keep them on your leg, anywhere from ankle to hip, depending on your body. We're gonna take it and do a twist. We're gonna take our right hand, start to circle it out behind us, and then bend that opposite knee. It'll help make the twist a little more fluid. Great job. Exhale through center of your forward fold. Walk your hands over to the left leg, high or low or anywhere in between. Start to bend your right knee, and then send your left hand back behind you. Exhale to release. Inhale. If you're coming to a chair variation for our next sequence, you're going to roll up to stand. Coming down to the floor for our next variations, go ahead and bend into a deep squat here. Feel free to bring a prop under the hips, lift the heart. And again, if you were coming into the chair pose, you'll stand up first and then move towards your chair. You'll also join us in a squat, hovering above your chair. Beautiful job. All right, inhale to release, and we're going to come into a tabletop variation. So if you're on your chair, you can go high or low. Then you're bringing your hands in line with your shoulders, ankles in line with your hips. And if you're coming onto the floor, you're on hands and same alignment. So we'll start with a thread the needle, lifting the right arm out to the side and back behind us. And then with an exhale, we're going to thread it through the body. Pull the fingertips as far towards the other side as we can. And then take this rolling, pulsing movement on your own. Rolling and twisting through the body a few times. Great job. Exhale, release hands back to tabletop. Move through a cat-cow or two. Noticing how the spine has changed throughout our flow today. And then go ahead and pause. Let's take our right foot back behind us. We'll tuck the toes and come into a calf stretch as we push our heel either towards the floor or towards the wall behind us. And as always, if it feels better to dynamically roll over the ball and foot, coming in and out of the stretch, that is always an option as well. All right, we're gonna come into a dancer's twist here, so we're gonna take that extended leg. We're gonna slide it across the mat on the floor until it crosses behind the other foot, crisscrossing the legs. And then we'll look over our opposite shoulder, back at the foot we just crossed, taking the side body into a C shape. Great job. Exhale to release. Come back through center. And let's take that sequence on the other side. So we'll start with thread the needle, lifting the left arm, opening it up. Exhale, pulse and pull. Take it at your own pace. Twisting through the spine. Finding your breath. Great job. Exhale, tabletop. Sending left foot back this time. Calf stretch. Press back through the heel. And then our dancer's twist. So take that left leg, cross it over the right. And then begin to look over your right shoulder, back at your left foot. Beautiful job. Exhale to release. From here, let's come into a seated position. You're on the mat. We're gonna extend the right leg and hug that left knee in towards our torso. And if you're seated in a chair, guess what? We're doing the exact same thing. So you can keep that leg extended, or you can even invite a bend and keep the foot on the floor. And start to lift the other knee, hugging it in. Maybe take a few ankle rolls, whether you're seated in the chair or on the floor. And then reverse them. All right, we're gonna take a sage twist here. We're gonna take our right shoulder towards our right knee, our right shoulder towards our left knee. You can hook or hold with hand, elbow, or strap even. And then take your left hand behind you, either onto the chair or maybe the floor or a prop behind you as you twist towards your left shoulder. Great job. Exhale to release. Inhale, right knee comes up, ankle rolls. Reverse them. Sit up a little taller. And let's find that sage twist. Twisting opposite elbow towards your shoulder again. Capture with hand, elbow, knee, strap. You twist towards your right shoulder this time. Exhale to release. Alrighty, for our final movement pose of class today, we're going to find either a strappy boat, which involves taking that strap once more, wrapping it around the back of your body. If it has the ability to be tied or has one of these nifty thready things, you can do that, but if not, just tie it together. And then bring it under the balls of your feet. And we'll start to bring your feet up into a boat, either with knees bent or lengthened. Or the other option for today's class, you're in the chair. And you're saying, I'm not doing a strappy thing like that for both, even on the floor. You could do this option as well. Create a pillow behind you on your seat. Bring your feet up to a wall at about that same boat position, even with knees bent is okay. And then when you're ready, maybe lift arms, holding the strap, sending them out parallel to the floor. So even though there's a little bit of strengthening happening in our core, we're not blowing it out here at the end. But we're noticing how we're feeling. Are we being nice towards ourselves? You're doing a great job. All right, this is our last breath, wherever you're at in boat. And then as we exhale, we find ourselves coming into a ball shape. So maybe bring the knees in towards your torso, or if it feels more steady with feet on floor, bring your torso towards your knees. Rounding through that spine, maybe tucking chin towards your chest, feeling your breath here. Take 3 big breaths, and with each exhale, maybe a little sigh releases. And from here, we'll start to come into our final resting pose. So you're welcome to do a legs up the wall, or a corpse pose on the ground, or on a bed or couch. You could do constructive rest. You could add pillows, blankets. You like that beach chair where you have the blocks and the pillows leaning up against it. That's always a great option. So taking just a few moments to find a place so that you can truly be comfortable as you start to settle in and relax on command. As we settle in, we'll allow our breathing to return to that intentional breath once more. Breathing in deeply and then exhaling completely. Settle into a place that feels like comfort. And if it doesn't, allow yourself to make any adjustments so that it does. Maybe you gently close your eyes and continue to take a deep breath in, or maybe you simply soften your gaze, letting your lungs fill completely with each inhale, and then following the exhale out slowly, letting go of any tension or stress, allowing your breath to find its natural rhythm. As we continue to breathe deeply, intentionally, bring your awareness to your body, noticing any areas of tightness or discomfort. And with each inhale, imagine sending the energy from your breath to those areas. With each exhale, allowing tension to melt away, releasing any tension. And start to bring your attention to your heart center. Taking this moment to feel your heart beating. Notice the subtle shifts in your rib cage and sternum, abdomen. Begin to imagine a warm, glowing light of any color radiating around your heart. This light glowing warmly, represents kindness, compassion. And this light is your inner source of kindness that is always available to you. Begin to allow it to radiate throughout your entire body, warming every cell, self-compassion, love, kindness. When life feels hard, remember to be kind. Be kind to yourself. Acknowledge your efforts, your struggles, your resistance, and your resilience. And offer yourself the same compassion you would offer your dearest friend. Now begin to envision your glowing kindness radiating away from you and extending that kindness and compassion to those you care about most. Visualize the faces of your loved ones, all beings, and send them your warm, glowing light. And imagine it wrapping around them, offering comfort and support through their tough times. Beautiful job. Now think of the strangers that you encounter in daily life. People you pass on the street, the cashier at the store, the person sitting next to you at a doctor's appointment, waiting room. Begin to send them your light of kindness as well. Imagining it spreading outward, touching everyone you meet. The harder life feels, the more important it is to offer kindness. We can let kindness be a salve for the injuries of life. We can imagine it smoothing and healing, maybe even bringing peace or comfort. As you take a few more deep breaths, feeling the warmth of this kindness within you, around you, and radiating out from you. Knowing that you can bring the sense of kindness with you as you move through the rest of your week, intentionally making an effort to notice how you treat yourself.
and others when time gets tough. We'll take the deepest breath of our day so far. And then as you're ready, begin to invite a little bit of movement as you come back into your space. Maybe wiggle your toes, or raise your eyebrows. And then maybe take a full stretch, waking back up. And then in your own time, in your own way, come on back up to an upright position facing me. Thank you so much for joining me today. As always, it is an honor to have you join me, and I hope that I see you again sometime soon. Thank you.